Have you ever looked at a bright clear sky and noticed tiny specks or strands moving around in your field of vision? Those, my friends, are eye floaters. They can look like little worms, cobwebs, or just dark spots. Don't worry, you don't have bugs in your eyes. Eye floaters are very common, and most of the time they're harmless. Eye floaters can be annoying, especially if you see them often. But understanding what causes them can help you worry less. So let's dive into the science behind these mysterious little objects. To understand eye floaters, we need to take a peek inside the eye. The eye is filled with a gel-like substance called the vitreous humor. This humor helps maintain the shape of your eye. As we age, the vitreous humor can change. It may shrink or become slightly stringy. When this happens, tiny clumps of protein or other materials can form within the vitreous. These clumps are what we perceive as eye floaters. But why do we see these clumps? It's all about shadows. These shadows are cast by tiny clumps of protein or other materials inside the vitreous humor, the clear gel-like substance that fills the inside of our eyes. Light enters our eyes through the cornea and lens, and then it travels through the vitreous humor before hitting the retina at the back of the eye. The retina is a thin layer of tissue that lines the back of the eye on the inside. The retina is like the film in a camera. It senses light and sends signals to the brain, which creates the images we see. This process is crucial for our vision as it allows us to perceive the world around us in vivid detail. When light passes through the vitreous humor, those little clumps of protein or other materials can cast shadows on the retina. These shadows are what we perceive as floaters. They can appear as spots, threads, or cobweb-like shapes that drift about when you move your eyes. We see these shadows as floaters. Floaters are usually harmless and are a common occurrence as we age. However, a sudden increase in floaters can sometimes indicate a more serious condition, such as a retinal detachment, and should be checked by an eye specialist. Floaters are more noticeable when you're looking at a bright, plain background, like a clear sky or a white wall, because the contrast makes the shadows more apparent. This is why you might see them more clearly when you're outside on a sunny day, or staring at a computer screen with a white background. Now let's talk about a fascinating phenomenon related to our vision, something that might surprise you. It's called the blue field entoptic phenomenon. Have you ever noticed tiny, bright blue dots moving rapidly across your field of vision, especially when looking at a bright blue sky? These are not your typical floaters. Unlike the dark, shadowy shapes that float across your vision, these dots are actually white blood cells moving through the capillaries in front of your retina. The way light interacts with these blood cells and the fluid around them makes them appear as bright blue dots. This phenomenon is a result of the light scattering off the white blood cells, which are larger than the red blood cells, and thus, more noticeable. It's like watching your own blood flow in real time. Pretty cool, huh? Next time you find yourself gazing up at a clear blue sky, take a moment to appreciate this incredible natural display happening right before your eyes. It's a small reminder of the intricate and fascinating workings of our bodies. Most eye floaters are perfectly normal and nothing to worry about. These tiny specks or cobweb-like shapes that drift across your field of vision are usually just small clumps of gel or cells inside the vitreous, the clear jelly-like substance that fills the inside of your eye. They're just a natural part of aging. As we get older, the vitreous can shrink or become more liquid, causing these clumps to form and cast shadows on the retina, which we perceive as floaters. However, in some cases, a sudden increase in the number of floaters, especially if accompanied by flashes of light or a loss of peripheral vision, can be a sign of a more serious problem. These symptoms should not be ignored as they could indicate an issue with the retina. These symptoms could indicate a retinal tear or detachment, which requires immediate medical attention. A retinal tear can lead to retinal detachment, where the retina is pulled away from its normal position, potentially causing permanent vision loss if not treated promptly. If you experience any of these symptoms, see an eye doctor immediately. Early detection and treatment are crucial to prevent serious complications and preserve your vision. Remember, it's always better to err on the side of caution when it comes to your vision. Regular eye checkups and being aware of any changes in your vision can help maintain eye health and catch potential issues early.